Hello, everybody. This is not my typical time for recording. It's like almost 10 o'clock at night. I don't usually talk at this time because whatever talking I did during the day was enough. My mouth doesn't work that well. So but I have to get this out. So just a heads up, I did take a marijuana gummy and it is kicked in. So there's like dry mouth that you're going to hear. So get me out of your ear holes because you do not want to listen to that gross shit coming out of my mouth. So I'm sorry in advance. One day I'll be able to afford like a mic that hopefully hides a lot of the dry mouth. But anyways, um, I have I have stuff I just need to get out of my head, and this episode is probably going to be a bit of a downer. I was thinking earlier and I realized that I like in general, I would say over the past like year or two, like my overall sense of like well-being is content and like positive. Like I am a glass half full kind of person. And I only got to be this way. Like I still have lots of work to go, but like I've never felt this content in my life. And so that's just how I've been. And when I do podcast episodes, I'm usually in a decent mood. Sometimes I'm not, and I do those episodes. But like I do a lot of not doing these kinds of episodes where I need to bitch or complain or just like yeah, just talk about stuff that isn't always so uplifting. And I worry that I'll bring people down. Um, or say something that like maybe I regret or something. I don't know. Like so I guess people don't have to listen to episodes if they don't want to, so I'm just gonna do this one anyways, and try not to avoid. But man, people fucking suck is just my how I've been feeling for the last week. Um, so if you don't want to listen to this kind of episode, I don't blame you, but maybe click off if you want to stay in your good mood, if you're in one. Um, so last week we had the birthday thing that I talked about. It turned out to be a pretty crappy trip. Um, I was really excited about it, like so excited, and like weeks up to this little trip. I call it a trip. It wasn't even like a full 48 hours, but it's still a trip. We still went somewhere and stayed overnight. And for weeks leading up to it, I've been telling Alicia like we're gonna leave at about 7, like get up at 6, leave at 7. And I've been saying it on almost a daily basis because it helps me prepare, and it also like her ADHD brain, like we try to work with each other's brains a bit better. Like we're kind of stunted right now. Like I think last time I was on her saying that we're at the point now where like our communication is like therapy kind of stuff, and like it is, but like also here's the time that's just not. It's just back to old shit and it's fucking annoying. So I'm hoping to get back to the good kinds of communication, but we've had a bit of a breakdown. But anyways, she tries to help, like she's understanding my autistic brain, I'm understanding her ADHD brain, and we try to help each other out. Like so I've been saying this out loud to her for a few weeks now, ever since I found out she actually wanted to go do something for her birthdays because she gets up early anyways, and I don't. Oh my God, I get up at like 11 or 12 if I have a decent sleep. Um, like I'm just I wake up late. And so anyways, the night before we leave, Bella's here, like Alicia and I thought we're getting ready to go to sleep. And Alicia just decides, okay, so tomorrow, we'll leave at about probably 8 or 9. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. And so basically, long story short, in that department, this bitch heard nothing out of my mouth those few weeks when I said what the time was, what time we would wake up, what time we would leave. She never argued with me. Like I'm not argued. That's not the right word. She never said, "No, that's too early for me." She never said, "Oh, can we do it a little bit later?" Every single time she nodded or said something along the lines of, "Okay, sounds good." I thought she was listening to me. How do you hear me say these on a daily basis? Just not like all throughout the day, just at least once a day, most days. these past few weeks. That's what I fucking said out loud when we were talking about something. That's just how I am. I've noticed. So, that's what I did. She kept saying, okay. Then she says, I never heard you say any of that. I never heard 6 or 7 o'clock. I'm like, wow. So, right there, I'm just like, great. So, in that moment, I've just realized that, like, for the past few weeks, like, I feel a bit invisible. What the fuck have you heard? What else have you not heard me say, So, I was like, really? I did not plan for 8 or 9. Like, you guys know I was on here talking about the packing, the planning. Um, like when I say a time frame, it means in my mind I've worked out all the steps that like it's going to be so easy when we get up in the morning for me to just pack the car and go. Like I had it all figured out. You know, I think you guys get it. And so she says that shit and she was serious about it. I'm like, "Are you what?" And then she didn't seem to understand why I was so upset. I started like fucking stuttering and glitching like, "Oh my God, like what? Like you didn't hear me? So like we're leaving at this time?" She's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Okay, fine, I guess." That's not what we talked about, but fine. So I didn't go to sleep with her, which she did not like. Because, like, once or twice a year, maybe I go to bed at the same time as she does for when maybe we went and did something that day and we're just depleted. I don't fucking know. And she was really excited because she was the first time that I was going to go to sleep with her this year at the same time because I'm a night owl. I just stay up and up and up doing all the things. That's just how my brain is. And so all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm not tired now because I was not tired. I was like, well, I have hours now that I could go and do things in my room instead of just go to sleep since we're not getting up early. And she didn't seem to understand that way of thinking, and I didn't have it in me to explain it to her. So that was that. Okay. I get up the next day and what is it, like 8:15? I don't know, fucking know. Like it was not the time I wanted to leave. And so I found that I was just kind of lost a little bit. My I didn't know what to do, what was supposed to be packed. Like my whole thing got thrown off by that. It really did. And she got impatient and even told me so. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And like I'm trying to like hide this shit from Bella because like she's around. She can hear. She was in her tent bed, and I was hoping that bitch was sleeping, but she later informed us that nope, she heard everything. She was awake. Like God, it's like great. Now you have another set of adults fucking arguing around you, which that sucked. But anyway, we weren't arguing. I was expressing my displeasure at the situation, and so I tried to move as fast as I could, and then like um Alicia makes the comment like, I've been patient enough. And I was like, oh, hell no. Excuse me while my brain buffers because this was not the way that I'm the planner. I am the one that gets us out the door and keeps us going throughout the fucking trip. And you just you fucked that up. And then to make it worse, after, 5 or 10 minutes, we really are leaving and I go say my goodbyes to the cat, but like Apollo gets the longest goodbye because he's my soul kitty. And so I started crying and I'm not ashamed of it. Bella understands. She loves animals as much as I do. Like we talk about our connection with animals all the time. I wasn't embarrassed to be crying. I was just like sad. It was the first time I was leaving Apollo. And what was that gonna be like? So I was just like, I held him in my arms. I was like kissing him, cat lady stuff. And Alicia's like, all right, that's enough. Let's go. Excuse me? You see me crying, holding my cat, and you just fucking, you want to stop that? Ooh, I was pissed. So we get into my car or her car because she ended up getting it fixed. And before we took off, I just was like, I told her how I felt, and I explained everything I just explained to you right now. And I said, not cool. Listen to me when I talk. If you don't like the time that I come up with, it's okay to say I don't like that time, and we will adjust, and I will adjust. Like, what the fuck? So we smoothed things out. I thought we were, oh, okay, this is maybe hopefully still salvageable. So we drive the 4 hours and we go see the trolls, which when we got there, it was a really good time. Um, we had fun. Like, I didn't overheat. Like, I was prepared. I had my anti-nausea pill that I took. I had my neck fan. Um, I'm gonna talk more about that little baby in the next episode or so, if I remember, because neck fans are cool, and I've discovered just they're so delightful. Anyways, so we had fun. Also, here's some tangent. I when we were going through the forest part, they had this cool forest music. I don't know how to describe what that sounds like. It was like quirky. It was so fucking cool. Like to see the first troll, you go into the forest, you're just surrounded by trees and like music and like other people. It was beautiful. And the music was a lot for me. Like I felt really emotional when I was listening to it and I don't know why. Like I- who cares? Like I just was like, "Oh my God, this is like so sad but also like so good." So I put my noise canceling headphones over my ears. And forgive me for my ignorance if other people do this, but like I thought that you just had to have headphones to listen to, like you had to have something that you're listening to when you wear them. I'm just like, I'm so in my own little world with this shit. So I just was like, let me just put these over my ears. I don't have any intention to listen to any other music. I need to take the sharpness out. And it was perfect. I heard the music in the forest and I was able to, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it worked. It took the sharpness off. It let me enjoy the experience without getting like it was just I realized in that moment like, "Oh my God, I can actually wear these things. I don't have to listen to anything in them and I can still hear things outside of me." So like I could go into the grocery store and just have these on my ears but not have to listen to something. Does that make sense? Like, do you guys do that and I just now figured this out? Like, what the fuck? So I was beside myself with joy. And all I did for like the remainder, well, not all I did, but I had those headphones on a lot because we were places where there were people. And I also figured out, oh, they won't really talk to me if I have these on. So that was like a bonus. So, anyways, I'm going to start doing that. It was a great visit to see those trolls and to see nature and to like learn about that area that we were at. Um, so that was that. Good time, right? Get back in the car. And then it's like an hour and a half to the lodge that we were going to stay at. And um so we were like we felt so gross. We were like let's just go there. We need showers and stuff like that. And then so we got there, I don't know, 6 o'clock ish, 5 or 6 or something like that. And we were all like showered and stuff by like 7. So Alicia's job when we do trips is she's kind of like she finds the things for us to do. Like she'll come up with like, here's some ideas. What do we feel like doing? That's always what we do. She had nothing. So she was just like, I'm really kind of tired. Like today was a lot. I'm good just kind of staying here. I actually kind of wanted to go because we were in the Adirondacks. There was lots of stuff to go look at. There was like cool shit that like I was willing to put my fucking body through, which I figured out. And that's a tangent. That's another episode. Anyways, I was just gonna say I figured out some stuff going on with my body that I'll talk about the next episode, but that's neither here nor there right now. But I was willing to go like let's just go walk some more. It was like so close, like within 10 minutes, everything, you know. Just walk around, music, there were lights. It was the Adirondacks, and but she didn't feel like doing it, so I wasn't going to argue with that. So I just didn't mention that I wanted to do that because she already said she didn't really want to go anywhere. So I just watched some fucking news on my phone because I didn't bring anything like a book or something. I like to hold books to read when I go on trips. I don't like to use my electronics that much, but I did this time because I guess I was kind of thought I thought we would go out and do something and then get back and then be so tired we were going to go to sleep. And so that didn't work out. And then Alicia had an epiphany and realized Oh my God. Like, she just realized that, like, she doesn't know how to have fun. She wasn't raised in a family that knew how to have fun. Everything was so serious all the time. Everything was work, work, work. My upbringing wasn't that different. Like, my family didn't know how to have fun either. They just didn't. Nothing was fun. It fucking sucked. My mom was an asshole. And so was I for a long time. I still am once in a while, but not like that. And I figured out how to have fun. And it's just one of those things where it's like, man, I get that everybody's on their own timeline. But I was like, why in this moment can't we just like, just let go and it's okay? Like you realize this about yourself, but like really we can just be present in this moment and not I don't know. It wasn't working. So I comforted her and I said, "Thank you for sharing." Um, but yeah, I was still pissed about how we left. So as she went to sleep, I was sitting at the table reading or not reading, watching my fucking news videos and just having thoughts like, oh my God, like how we left was like not the way I wanted to leave. So I guess I just kind of like never really worked through finishing my emotions about that. So I decided that was what I was going to do in that moment. I was like, God, like this sucks, this sucks, this sucks. Like now talking about it, it wasn't like that bad, but in that moment, I was like, this is not how this was supposed to go. So eventually, I took enough marijuana and trazodone to go to sleep. God. Please don't judge too much. This is going to be a long episode, as I'm sure you've already. Oh, 16 minutes. That's not too bad. It'll probably be. Well, whatever. Uh, so I go to sleep. Now, here's some karma. I called it karma, and I told Alicia that this was karma from the universe for making you or for having me fucking cut my goodbye off with my soul kitty, fuck up the time that I told you we were gonna leave that you never said boo about. Karma fucking got her by the time I woke up. Hilarious. So I slept through all of this because, like I said, marijuana and trazodone. I was just like, knock me out, something. And so I slept through all of it. So what happened was this part's kind of funny. So, like that evening when she's sitting on the hotel bed having her epiphany and crying about how she realized I don't know how to have fun, she also mentioned that she had a headache. So she asked for what did she asked for her aspirin. So I brought her I brought her a little bottle of aspirin and set that down. And then I realized that she needed to take I'm just gonna she takes metformin, but like she's almost done with that medication because she's done like she takes metformin. I'm just gonna say it. I don't think it's lots of people take metformin, but the side effect is it makes you shit. So she mixed up the little bottle of Tylenol that I had. It was a travel bottle and the baggie of metformin where I put several pills in there because I always like to prepare for like, what if we break down? What if something happens and we can't get back for a few days? I want us to have our medication. You know what I mean? We're old, so we need our fucking meds and she needs her meds. So she confused that baggie of metformin with Tylenol and took several, like, well, not several. She probably took two or three, like she would Tylenol, and she don't need to take that much metformin anymore. Oh, hi, Phil. Phil's giving me a little kissy on my hand. Hi. Tell Apollo to give me a kiss. Anyways, oh, so she took that and didn't realize it until the next day, the next morning, when her stomach woke her up because she had to shit so bad. So she goes to the bathroom and she takes her little dump. Oh my God. And then the toilet gets clogged. Now we're in a lodge. We're not in like some hotel where you can call the front desk and they can come fucking take care of it or something. There were no plungers. There were no plungers. This is like an old family owned lodge. And who are you going to call? And we had no plunger. And I was like, oh, when she told me this, I was like, what did you do? Well, what she did, she looked up some stuff on her phone and she eventually she typed in like how do you get poop out, how do you unclog a toilet without a plunger, and she said that some dude wrote down there, you just use your hands, just get in there. That's what she did. That's what she did. She swam in poo water. So she goes and she gets those I have like those large like freezer sized Ziploc bags that I had like different stuff we brought with us. So she grabbed two of those, put them over her arms and her hands, and proceeded to swim in her poo water to get the toilet paper out or fucking figure out how to unclog it. I was laughing my ass off because I slept through all of this. She said that like it was like an hour ordeal. She had to take a break. She was like, "What do I do?" And then she knew, by the way, like I had not shat. I because of what happened that prior morning and how I got rushed out, my body was just, "We're not pooping. You're not going to poop until you come back to your safe home." So Alicia's like, "What if Ange has to get up and that's finally when she has to poop and she's not going to be able to because I clogged the toilet?" So she's like, "I had to do something. I had to make sure you could poop." So I give her credit there. And then as she's telling the story, she tries to like I don't know how you make a story like this sound any better, but she's like, "There wasn't that much poop or toilet paper poop." I'm like, "Dude, yes, there was. Stop trying to act like it wasn't, like you weren't swimming fucking elbow deep in your poop." Oh my God. Oh my God. That was hilarious. And what was even more funny is I slept through all of that. I was like, this is the best thing I could fucking wake up to right now. So we had a good laugh about that. Oh my God. Gross. But like, wait, like, I sure appreciate that. She was that concerned. No, I didn't poop. Wait, no, I did. A sliver came out. Oh, I wish I didn't say that just now. Ah, shit. Literally. But a piece came out. I think maybe it was like, okay, since she went to all this work, we're gonna have to let something out. So like I came out and I was like, "I pooped a little." And she's like, "Yay." So your efforts weren't for naught. God. We're in our 40s. What the fuck is this shit? This is just our life. It's just hilarious. But anyways, um where am I in my story? Okay, so then, okay, we're awake. I heard the poo story. That was funny. Let's get on the road and go find something to do because, like, I had told her and we had agreed that we were going to take our time going back home so Bella could have the majority of the day, like, pretty much the whole day and into the evening to herself before we came home. Because I wanted that for her and she wanted to spend time to her by herself. So Alicia knew this. Come to find out, she had no plans on what we were going to do that day. And I was like, okay, and I just reminded her, but like, I'm the one that does the packing, making sure you got what you need in the car, like I get us through like that way. Like in your plan, like your job has always been this. Like what's happening? She's like, "I guess I just forgot because we haven't been out in so long," which I understand. So I was like, "Okay." So she goes, so she's like, "Let's go to this state park." I was like, "Okay," because we have the Empire Pass, which is the thing you can get in America, where you can just get into all the state parks all year round for paying for this fucking pass. And so we've had one. We always either get it gifted or whatever, like every year. Nadine usually I think gets it for us. So we didn't have to pay to go in there. So we went into this one state park and she didn't like it. It was smaller than she thought it would be. And after going to the bathroom, she's like, "Let's just go back into the car and go." I was like, "What?" I was like, "But we could go over there. There's like stuff to do." She didn't want to. And I was like, "Okay." And then I started getting pissed because I had to have an interaction with a human. Because when we pulled up, you know how like you're driving, like you should be able to swipe your Empire Pass at the thing and then the gate lifts and you go through. That's how every other state park I've been to operates. This one, you have to get out of your car, like they don't even come to you. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And it was on the wrong side. It was on the passenger side that I had to get out and go to a shack and talk to somebody so they can swipe my Empire Pass. I was like, "What the fuck? You guys are like stuck back in the old ages." So I had an interaction that I didn't want to fucking have. Sorry. I didn't plan for that. So And that person wanted to talk about a couple things too. So I was like, what the fuck? Don't talk to me. But I was nice. So then I was like, I just had that whole interaction for you to fucking go to the bathroom and for us to leave. What the fuck? So I was like, okay, great, fine. And so then I told her, I was like, she could tell I was pissed. I was like, dude, I was like, find something that you would like to do that you feel would be fun. Like, I'm down for anything, but like, she know I'm not down. I don't do the looking for things to do. I do that enough with the girls. She knows my brain isn't like, that's not how things are supposed to go when we do our trips. So the whole pattern was broke. That's why I was just unable. I don't, you hear me now? That's how I was. So I just was like, please, just, we can sit here, look around on your phone, find something that you want to do that you feel would bring you some joy, and we'll go do it. So she wants to go to another park and not hike or nothing. So we get to the park and we just, and I guess this is what she didn't say it was gonna, maybe that was something that brought her joy. And I just was so irritated at that point that I wasn't even listening. But like we get to this state park and then she just goes to the nearest bench and just kind of sits down and I'm like, we're just gonna sit here? Like not hike or nothing? So I went into, I started going into like mini meltdown mode. I was trying to do a shutdown, but it was headed toward mini meltdown. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I was looking over at her. She didn't look happy. So, how is this something that's fun for you? So, like, our communication was just like, what? What? I don't understand what's going on. So, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So, I just started like taking a little nap on the bench because I was tired because there was nothing to stimulate my brain. God, I'm sorry for how I sound. But it is what it is. This is just how I feel. And so what did I do? Something that I totally regret is I was starting to spiral in my mind. I was like, how is this happening right now? This trip fucking sucks. I was like, she can't figure out how to have fun. What the fuck? I felt trapped. And I was in meltdown mode and your brain fucks with you. I take full responsibility. I'm not trying to like not, but like your brain fucks with you when you're in a meltdown. So I was trying to stave it off or however you say it. So I messaged somebody that I thought like they're usually a pretty validating person. And I was just like, oh my God, like I'm so pissed right now because that's how I felt. And I was explaining like, what's going on. Um, anyways, sorry, my phone distracted me just now. Anyways, that person was not validating and basically said something along the lines of, "Oh, give her a break." What? This is like a person who knows me well, so I was just like, "You gotta fucking be kidding me right now. I can't even get validation from someone that usually is like decent at it. Fuck this." So I just felt disgusted. My meltdown started getting bigger, and then eventually, like, Alicia's like, "Okay, we can go." "Oh, great. Oh, sure, let's go." Like, what the fuck? So we get back in the car and then we're just sitting there. And then I can't remember what started, what, who said what. All I remember, because like fucking meltdown, is I just spiraled. I just was like, oh my God. Like, how is it this hard for you to have fun? And like, I just like, well, I'm just gonna say it. I punched my legs really, really hard multiple times. Like I just did it over and over. Like it really, I bruised my legs. That's all I could do. I had no desire to punch my wife, in case anybody's wondering. I did not feel violent toward her. No, nothing of that was meant for her. I had all of this inside me that I needed to get out. Like I felt like a volcano. Like for real. This isn't like meltdowns are no fucking joke. They really do feel like volcanoes for me. And I needed all of this stuff to go somewhere because I had been trying to work with the situation and to try to be understanding. And I try to keep my feelings in check. Like I tried to keep like have my reactions in check. Like okay, you know, I just there were too many inconsistencies, too many things that weren't going the way I thought they were gonna go, and it was too much for me. And that's what I had to do. And like immediately after I got done punching my legs, I felt great. I felt this huge release. And I looked right at her and I immediately said, that was, I don't feel violent. I don't, this, I had to do that right now. Like, because it's not like I can get out of the car and just scream. Somebody's going to call the cops. Like, what was I supposed to do? You know? And that's what I did. And I've never done that in front of her before or anybody or in public. Thanks a lot for being unmedicated. Da da Dutch. I'm not that unmedicated yet, but almost. I'm unmedicated enough that that happened in public, sort of. And even the next day, a couple days after that, her and I were talking about it, and I said, I honestly don't, if I'm being honest, like, I don't feel embarrassed about that. Like, I guess I just said that out loud, but like, that was just something that I had to do. I can't be the only one that did that, right? Like, have you guys done that? Does anybody else do that? I'm not advocating for self harm by any stretch of the imagination. That's just the only thing I could think of to do to release the fucking frustration I had. And basically, after that, we just went the fuck home. God, I was so frustrated. And so we got back and we decided that, like, we were going to talk to Bella. Like, we explained bits and pieces of, like, the argument. And because however this sounded is just how I said it, it wasn't as bad as I made it sound. I don't know if I'm wording that properly. Um, we just wanted to explain to her that, like, there's also, like, she's seen adults argue and then fuck you forever goodbye, or um like I talked about the animosity between the family members and how they live so close together but they don't really see each other. It's weird. And so we decided to explain to her, like, hey, like, we're also adults that argue. This is kind of like our pattern that you unfortunately got to witness a bit of, but we also talk through things and it's important to come back around and la 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 la. So it was a good, when we came back that night or that evening, that's what we said to her. It was a good chat. Everything's great. Um, but it still bothered me because, like, that was a week ago we got back, right? No, tomorrow will be a week. It's Thursday. So it's almost a week. But, like, and I'm just going to be honest, this entire week I've spent a lot of time in my room. And when I go to sleep, I sleep in my tent bed. And I don't feel embarrassed about that. And Alicia at least understands enough to know now that, like, it's my nervous system. Like, that was such a huge disappointment, that trip for me. And it wasn't even my birthday. And I'm not going to sit here and invalidate myself. I hate the feeling of disappointment. Like, my whole childhood was just a huge fucking disappointment. So, like, I don't do well with it, and it takes me a long time to move through the feeling of disappointment, days for some things, and this was one of those. So, where am I at with time? Okay, just gonna be okay with that. It's going this long. Okay, so there's that, if anybody's still listening. Now, today is Wednesday, still. Yes, I checked the time. I woke up and I felt finally like my fog has lifted a bit and I felt spontaneous. I was like, that's a good sign. Okay. So I texted Bella. I was like, what you guys doing today? Because I wanted to see if they were bored because they usually are. And she said, we don't have anything going on today. It's the same old, sitting inside, hot and bored. And I was like, okay, that's what I was hoping to hear. So I was like, I found a beach that we could go to. That's only 10 minutes away from where they live, that they've never even been to before. Bella says she had when she was 5. That was so many years ago. How do you not take, anyways, we don't have lots of money to spend. Um and it was only like $5 to get into the beach and there was stuff to do. So I was like, okay, do you guys want to do that? She said that sounded great. So a few minutes later, she texts and says, actually, Madeline has therapy at 3, which, these kids are doing therapy via Zoom now, which I'm fucking elated about. Oh, so happy. So, anyways, she said Madeline has therapy at 3, but she said that we could go without her because I had offered to just maybe I'll come down tomorrow and we can go. But Bella, I um she said that Madeline was okay with us going. So I said, all right, by the time I get down there, that gives me time to hang out with Madeline, and then we'll go do that, and then we'll come back and we'll find something else to do because it would have still been early enough in the day. Plus, in a couple of weeks is when I'm supposed to go down and pick Madeline up to bring her here for a visit so we can go to the beach then. So, like, you know, no big deal, I thought, right? I'm not trying to exclude the kid. To me, this is just a normal thing. Somebody has an appointment. Okay. Um, I had not planned on rejecting her. I was looking forward to spending time with her before and after. So, anyways, I'm on the thruway about half an hour into my drive, and I see a text come across my phone from Bella that said Madeline's going to be joining us now. So it took me a while to figure out what that meant, and I was like, no, she didn't. She did not reschedule her appointment. So I was like, please let me hope that like the therapist did it and it was just a coincidence. So I call Bella and Bella tells me, yeah, Madeline decided to change her mind and she didn't want to miss out on going to the beach. So she canceled her appointment and rescheduled it for next week. And I was like, are you serious right now? And Bella wasn't happy about that either. And like, look, I'm just going to say Madeline has depression and she's had suicidal thoughts not that long ago. That kid needs her fucking therapy. Okay? She needs it. And so in that moment, I was like, no, she didn't. And then Bella's like, and mom said, I'm going to call mom today, fucking Sally, and call her fucking Sally and hope that I don't say her real name, but I probably have before. So fucking Sally. Um, am I at that part yet? No. Yeah, I am. Yeah, so fucking Sally had no problem with Madeline doing that. She said, yeah, no problem. Now, from my perspective, hello, you know your daughter has depression and has had difficult fucking time recently. And you're okay with her rescheduling it to go to the goddamn beach? Like, so how this was supposed to go in my perspective is like you're the parent, you need to say that's not actually okay, like you need to keep your appointment, therapy is really important, and you'll see Aunt Ange like before and after, you're going to see her in a couple weeks, you guys can go back to the beach. Who knew, maybe I would have gone back down next week, except for the fucking war started back up, but who knows. But anyways, so like you're supposed to be the parent and like tell your kid no, right? Like your kid has depression and needs therapy. So in that moment when I heard that, I was like, great, I have to be the fucking adult now. So like the choice that I made was I just was like, I can't reward that. So I'm sorry if sorry for however parents are going to think of me about this, but like I just nobody was an adult in this situation. So I felt like I had to be one. And I was just like, what would I have done back in the day when I used to meet with people who would come in? Like I had clients that I would meet with that like they would cancel and how do I explain this? I would tell somebody like that's not okay. Um no, I don't just thinking before I keep saying words that don't make sense. Like I would just I wanted to try to teach Madeline that like it's not okay to cancel such an important appointment that you need for your mental health, and I can't reward that with taking you to the beach because that kind of reinforces that that's an okay thing to do, and it really isn't. And like I was talking to Bella, I was like, dude, like when you're adults and stuff, like and we go to therapy, yeah, shit comes up, we reschedule our appointments, like that's a normal thing. I'm not trying to make this an issue. I'm just trying like she's a kid, like she really needs this. And even but like Bella knows. So I told Bella, just how about we scrap the beach for today? We're not going to do that. And I'm still on my way and we'll do something around the house. You know, like they have like they live on a farm, you know? There's stuff to do. And we have imaginations and there's still like that Dungeon and Dragons starter kit that I don't know that they've even started yet. So like I had ideas already. And I just wasn't going to take her to the beach because like I didn't feel proper doing that. And Bella said, okay, makes sense to me. End of discussion. We like hung up and I continued driving. So that's just, I thought, okay, I don't want to be like that, but like I shouldn't have to be a parent here. Nobody asked me to be, but like I don't feel right inside taking her to the beach after her, like, and especially with what her mom is just okay with that. Like, no. So I started preparing myself for like not losing my shit around her mom because I can't control my mouth around people, certain people, and I know she's one of them. And I'm not in a place in my life yet where I can be a mature adult around somebody like that. I just know I'm not. So I started preparing for like, just keep calm, don't be an asshole, don't create problems for the kids and go off on her mom. Just like, it's not that big of a deal. Not a big deal. Like, I'll talk to Madeline and I'll try to turn it into a teaching moment. Like, this is really stuff I thought about. And then I get texts coming across from Bella. Well, mom doesn't understand, like, what's the big deal, Madeline canceling therapy? So mom's just going to take Madeline. They're going to go do something. And she said, you and I can go do something. And my immediate, just, I felt like my soul, like parts of my soul leave my body and I felt triggered. I was like, no, she didn't fucking do that. And like, just say, like, what's the big deal to your fucking kids who need therapy? So what I did, um, was I got off the throughway at the exit I usually get off of to go see the girls. I parked in a Family Dollar parking lot, which that was the Family Dollar I used to work at like 20 years ago, so that was weird. And I just called Bella and I was upset a little. I was just like, Bella, are you okay with me crying a little? I'm just feel a little upset. And I'm not trying to trauma dump on a fucking kid. I don't want you to think that. But like I feel like me and Bella get each other to an extent, and I do filter what I say to her. I don't tell her everything how I feel, but I explained my reasoning, and I also was just honest. I said, Bella, like I just feel really triggered right now, and I don't feel safe coming down there and being around your mom because I know that how I'm feeling right now, I'm going to say something to her and go off on her. It's going to create problems. You guys don't need to see any of that. I don't want to do that. And I'm just letting you know, like, I really am not going to be able to control myself. And so I have to turn around and go home. And I explained, like, I'm not, maybe I didn't need to explain this. I don't know. But I was just telling her, like, I really am not trying to be an asshole here. Like, she got it. And I appreciated that. Um, but like, fucking Sally. Oh, I don't see what the big deal is. So what if my daughter like had all these things going on? Fuck you, you fucking asshole. Like, fucking Sally disgusts me. I didn't say any of this to her, to Bella, don't worry. Um, or like I drove back home trying to control a meltdown. I did not do any rage driving, don't worry. But I was like I felt meltdowny and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know how this sounds to you guys listening to this, but to me living this, like, this is just toxic shit. This is toxic. Um, like maybe it's not coming across exactly how their mother is and how she said stuff and um so like where I'm at right now is I can't go down there anymore. That's really how I feel. Like I cannot go down there anymore. I can't go to that farm area. I can't go to that fucking black cloud area. That whole area has a fucking doom of cloud. There's just shit over that area. I can't be around fucking Sally because of like how I feel is like I hate her. Like I feel hate, disgust. Like you guys know that feeling? I feel that toward her. I feel upset. Oh no, I'm gonna cry. Fuck you, marijuana. It's not the marijuana. I have feelings because I'm unmedicated, but like this is upsetting to me. Like, give your kid therapy. Like, be an adult for 5 fucking minutes and make a decision that your kid's not gonna like, but you know is a good one for them. And then I tried to do something in that department. There's a reason I didn't have kids. I don't want to be a parent. I don't want to do this shit. And I tried to do what I thought was right, and it ended up blowing up my face. And now it's like one of those old familiar feelings where I'm made to feel like I'm the problem. Like I came down there and dangled like the potential of going out somewhere and getting them out of their fucking prison, and I snatched it away because Madeline didn't go to therapy, and I know that that is how that is being told down there with fucking Sally. And I at least know that Bella doesn't see it that way. But like Madeline feels rejected, I'm sure. And fucking Sally is just, she can think whatever the fuck she wants about us. Like, God. Like, and then I come back home and like Alicia's not any help either. I'm not even gonna go into the details about that. I'm just like, I try to deal with what I can here with like some of like her thinking is, and then I have to go and like deal with this. And then I'm thinking about like, this is just like, I can't keep thinking about this shit because it's something I can't get out of my mind about like those girls down there, and how they're not doing well. I'm just crying in case anybody can't hear it because this shitty microphone won't pick it up. It's like terrible down there, and I'm not even exaggerating. And I hate that, like, I can't do more, but like, I can't be down there anymore. I just can't go down there anymore and like deal with that fucking asshole. Like, she sits there and she rots away just because you don't want therapy, just because you want to play fucking victim. Oh, I'm a victim of my circumstances. I'm so stuck. Bitch, I have given her suggestions. I'm sitting here opening an Etsy shop, which I'll talk about another time because it's not quite fully open yet. But like, like, do something with your fucking life. Like, there's the internet at your fingertips now that you can fucking afford it. Get on there and like do something. Get yourself some fucking therapy. Like, ugh, can't stand this shit. And then the other part of me is like, have compassion. Be empathetic. She's struggling. She's a single mom. Da 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 da. Okay, great. Well, I think that's ran out. Have that anymore for her. Like, there's a literal therapist in your family that you've been talking to for years. My wife, she's a therapist now. I mean, she wasn't for years, but she might as well have been. My wife is pretty good with other people's problems. Like, what the fuck? And like, you haven't picked any of that shit up. I don't even think Shell knows that she triggers me because, like, with where she's at in her life. If yeah, she ain't gonna want nothing to do with me. I ain't gonna want nothing to do with her. Like, I just can't stand that bitch. I'm so tired of this shit. And like, I don't like that I feel this upset, but like, those kids don't deserve that. And I feel like, really, like, is my reaction and how I feel right now warranted over something as just simple as like her not making a good parent decision? Well, yeah, that's how I feel. Because Madeline hasn't been doing good. And I'm not going to say any more than what I already said. She's not been doing well. And I don't blame Madeline. She's a kid. Of course, the kid's going to want to switch her therapy appointment and be like, let me go to the beach. Of course, she is. She's 13. It's not her fault. I would want to too. Like, you know? So Madeline is not at fault here. The blame is not with her. It's just like, why couldn't fucking Sally do what I would think any decent parent would do and just be like, no, therapy is really important. But like, maybe those expectations are too high because she doesn't value herself. She doesn't value therapy. She's just sits in her own fucking rot. I'm sorry I keep saying it like that, but dude, like, and like, I think I left out the part where, yeah, I did. I need water. Hold on. I could have just said that normal. I need water. Okay. I left out the part where when I went to bring Bella back, it was supposed to be me bringing Bella back that Friday. Um, but Alicia was nice enough to offer to go back with me because she knows I'm probably triggered. This was like last week. obviously. But anyway, so Alicia, like, all three of us go back down to drop Bella off, which I was so appreciative of. Oh, and we went to a cat cafe. I'll have to talk about that next time when I'm in a better mood. um, but anyways, so I was really grateful Alicia came with me because I didn't want to deal with fucking Sally by myself. And so we get in there, nobody comes out. We don't know where Madeline or fucking Sally is, just in the house somewhere, you know. It's not a big house. Nobody hears us, so we go in there. It is hot. It is so hot. It was so hot. It was gross. Like, as soon as I walked in, it felt like, I don't know how to describe it any better than like air wasn't moving. I felt so nauseous so instantly because that day outside was 90 plus degrees. So it was at least 100 fucking degrees in that house. I was like, "Oh my God. Oh my God, I feel." And then like so fucking Sally comes out from her cave yawning and scratching her ass like an asshole. Oh, so hot. I've just been sitting in front of the fan. Like, doesn't greet her daughter. Oh, glad you're back or nothing like that. The fuck? At least my mom did that shit for me when I left for like my random sleepovers that I never enjoyed, but I needed to get out of prison. At least my mom was like, "I'm glad you're back." Like, she at least did that for me. None of that for Bella. And then just just puttering around. Oh, I want to say some mean shit right now, but nope, you're an adult. You're better than this. You already said enough shit. Just as if like couldn't be bothered that we were there. And so in addition to feeling like I'm going to throw up because of how hot it is in there, I just excused myself because she was triggering me. Oh God. So I just was like, I'm just gonna wait outside in the car, like, take your time or whatever. And I just went and sat in the car. I was like, I can't with her. Um, it just felt bad in that house, aside from like the temperature. It just doesn't, it just, the energy is so depressing in there. And then, like, I don't know, was it like later that day or the next day? I asked Alicia, I was like, do they have an AC or something? Because like we have a tiny house, so we have two ACs, one in the front of the house, one in the back of the house, keeps the whole house cool. We have a third one that's supposed to be in my room, but I don't use it because the tent bed's blocking the window, and I would rather have a tent bed, a tent bed. Oh man, a tent bed. I would rather have one here than an AC because I have fans and this tent bed is great. You guys really need to try one. Man, does it like really help with anxiety. But anyways, so I asked Alicia, I was like, well, if they don't have one, like we can just give them our extra one because it's under the fucking bed collecting dust. We also have some window fans. So I was like, ask your sister if they could use one. Like, I heard something was like, Bella had mentioned something one time about the electricity isn't that stable. So, like, I don't know. Can you just check with your sister? Alicia said, okay. And she did. And what does fucking Sally say? Fucking Sally goes, we do have an AC. I just haven't felt like putting it in. Was that really the truth? Fucking Sally? Because you were so, oh, I'm so hot. I wish it would be cooler. So either you're that fucking lazy to put an AC in, or you don't have one, or you just don't want to just, what is it? And of course, like I asked Bella today, I just was like, you know, they don't have an AC in. So what the fuck? Why can't people just be honest about what's going on with them? Is what I'm trying to say. Like, can't you just say, fucking Sally, that your electricity isn't that great? Okay, I understand that. I'm not going to judge you for it. It's a fact. She can't say that, so I don't know if that's an issue. Do you actually have one? Because if you don't, we can give you ours. That's what was offered. Take it. Are you that lazy to put like what the fuck? Can you just say something directly? So it's weird to me because we've had plenty of days lately where it's been 90 plus degrees. It's so hot. So hot down there too. And you haven't put your AC in, so what is the issue? And then I'm like, should I even care? Yeah, I care more about those girls because they complain about how hot it is all the time. So Why are you lying about your AC, Sally? God, I gotta go, guys. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do another episode tomorrow now that I got this out of my mind. Thank you if you listened this far. Oh God, it's almost an hour. If you've hung on this long, thank you very much. I don't know who you are unless you tell me, but I really do appreciate it. I really hope that there was something relatable in this episode. I'm just not doing too well, but I do feel better now, after I said all of that. So I'll be back. Um, okay, bye.